Welcome back, dear students and friends. In the previous session, we have already started with chapter Human Health and Disease. In the previous session, we have learned what is the meaning of health, what is the meaning of disease. We have also discussed the different types of a disease like infectious disease and non-infectious disease. And we have also discussed that infectious disease are caused by pathogens, means the microorganism they are responsible for causing a disease. Now, today in this session, we have to discuss the commonly occurring diseases in human, and we try to cover the different varieties of pathogens they are responsible for causing these diseases. Okay, so we discuss the different types of the diseases commonly found in human. So let's start the first disease that is commonly found in human, that is typhoid. Okay. Mainly we are going to discuss the four parameters in every disease. First, the causative organism, means how the disease or what is responsible for causing that disease, which microorganism or pathogen is responsible for causing that disease. We will also discuss the mode of transmission, means how this microorganism or the disease is going to spread. Third, we will discuss the signs and symptoms, and finally we try to cover the treatment of it. Okay. So starting with the first one, typhoid. Typhoid is a bacterial disease, means it's caused by a bacteria. Which bacteria is responsible for typhoid? The name of bacteria which causes a typhoid is Salmonella typhi. Clear? Clear, students? This is a bacteria which is responsible for causing a disease, typhoid. Which one? It's a Salmonella typhi. It is a bacteria, that means it is a bacterial disease. Okay. So this is a causative organism by which it is caused a typhoid or that causes a typhoid. Second one, how it is transmitted. When a person that comes in a contact with a contaminated food and water, okay, through this contaminated food and water, the disease is going to be spread from one person to another person. Okay, suppose there is a food. Suppose you go to a market and if you are going trying to eat pani puri, that pani puri might have a kind of a bacteria called as bacteria of Salmonella typhi. That is a contaminated. Suppose the pani puri wala has utilized a contaminated water. Okay, now any one person that consumes it, so it goes into a GIT. Okay, and then it affects the gastrointestinal system or particularly intestine of a human being. So that occurs in case of a typhoid. Okay. Now what happens when that infected person goes for a defecation? Okay, that goes for a defecation. Okay, the stool of that contaminated stool might going to also infect the other person by contaminating the water and the food to which it comes in contact, and thus it is going to be transmitted. Okay, so how it is going to be transmitted? It is going to be transmitted when a healthy individual that comes in a contact with a contaminated food and water. Here the meaning of contaminated means the food and water that already contains the Salmonella typhi microbe. So if such type of a food and water is consumed, then it may causes a disease called as a typhoid. Okay, so it is caused by Salmonella typhi, or it is transmitted by when a healthy individual comes in a contact with contaminated food and water. Okay. Now what are the signs and symptoms of it? There are few signs and symptoms of this typhoid. What happens in typhoid? First, there is sustained high fever. Okay, sustained high fever is noted in this typhoid. Usually the temperature is noted in 39 to 40 degrees Celsius. This is one of the signs. Second sign, it causes the abdominal pain. Okay, it also causes the headache. It causes stomach ache. Okay, and if the disease is also going to be worsened, the intestine also going to be affected, and that may also result into a perforation in intestine. If the intestine gets damaged and if it is remains untreated, then it can also cause a death. Okay, sometimes it can also causes the constipation. So these are the usual signs which are observed with the typhoid. So what are the usual signs and symptoms? A sustained high fever, 39 to 40 degrees Celsius. There is an abdominal pain, headache, stomach ache, constipation. If this disease continues and if damage is higher one, then it also causes the perforation in intestine and it may also produces the death. How this is going to be diagnosed? It is diagnosed by a diagnostic technique, what we call it as Vidal test. Which is a diagnostic technique which is used for this typhoid, that is called as a Vidal test. Okay, so this is a Vidal test. There is a one interesting case in case of a medical history regarding to a typhoid. There is a one lady, its the name of lady is Mary Mallon. This Mary Mallon is a professionally a cook and he is cooking a food for many families. During her life, she is carrier for typhoid disorders because she is acting as a carrier, okay, and infected many families. So that's why this is also called as typhoid Mary, or sometimes it's also called as Mary typhoid, because this is the name of a lady who was transferred in. So this is called as one disease called as typhoid. Now what's the treatment? It requires an antibiotic treatment because anyhow we have to kill this microbe, bacteria. Which bacteria? Salmonella typhi. And to kill this bacteria, it needs a treatment called as antibiotic. So these 4 points you have to remember. First, causative organism means it is caused by Salmonella typhi, a type of bacteria. Second, how it is transmitted? It is transmitted through a contaminated food and water. Okay, anyone that comes in a contact with this contaminated food and water, it's going to be spread. What are the signs and symptoms? The signs and symptoms of typhoid are sustained high fever, like 39 to 40 degrees Celsius, a presence of abdominal pain, headache, stomach ache, constipation, and if the disease continues, then it leads to a perforation in intestine and death. This disease can be diagnosed by Vidal test, a diagnostic procedure. There is a one interesting case of a Mary Mallon. Throughout her life, she acted as a carrier and caused the disease to many people. Okay. Next, what is the treatment? The treatment is you have to give an antibiotic. Clear? This is first disease called as typhoid. Okay. Now we start with another disease, another commonly occurring disease found in a human. So the another disease now we discuss is the second one. It's called as pneumonia. Okay, pneumonia. Pneumonia, it is caused again. It's caused by bacteria. So which are the names of bacteria that causes the pneumonia? Pneumonia is caused by Streptococcus pneumonia. Okay, the another bacteria which is also responsible for causing the pneumonia is Haemophilus influenza. The third bacteria which is also responsible for causing the pneumonia is Pneumococcus pneumonia. So these are the list of bacteria which are responsible for causing the pneumonia. Okay, so pneumonia is again a bacterial disease. It is caused by a bacteria. Which bacteria is responsible for pneumonia? Streptococcus pneumonia, Haemophilus influenza and Pneumococcus pneumonia. So this is a causative organism. Now how it is going to be transmitted? When a healthy person that comes in a contact with a droplets from an infected person, suppose one person who is speaking, like suppose currently I am speaking, and assume that if I am infected, When I am infected, certain droplets from my mouth that comes out and remains suspended in an environment. When any healthy person that comes in a contact with such kind of a droplets, or when they inhale, because these droplets are so small, it remains in a suspended in a environment or atmosphere. When any healthy person inhales it, that person might going to be affected with a disease called as pneumonia, and thus it is going to be spreaded from one person to another person. Even while coughing and sneezing, the droplets of infected persons also released into the atmosphere, and when a healthy person comes in a contact with these droplets, they suffer from a disease called as pneumonia. Okay, so this is how it is going to be spreading. Now what are the signs and symptoms? When it is, now what happens when the healthy person inhale the infected droplets? The droplets are so small, already I have told you that it goes into a lungs of a healthy person, and it settles over there. You know that the lung contains a alveoli, a small balloon-like structures. There are millions of alveoli present in a lung. So this bacteria causes infection and inflammation of this alveoli, and they secretes a fluid in the alveoli, and due to that fluid, the alveoli gets occluded with a fluid, and the exchange of gases, means exchange of oxygen and CO2, does not take place. Okay, so the person have a difficulty in a breathing, or they do not get a proper amount of oxygen. Okay, so what they do, they infect and inflame the alveoli and secretes a fluid, a protein rich fluid that is secreted in it, and which hinder a process of exchange of gases like O2 and CO2, and thus it is going to be transmitted. Okay, so this is a transmission. Next, what are the signs and symptoms? The signs and symptoms of this pneumonia are, it's a fever, next high chills, okay, ठंडी लगे, next it can also causes the cough, okay, it can cause a headache. These are usually signs and symptoms of pneumonia: fever, high chills, cough and headache. Okay, so these are the usual signs and symptoms. Sometimes if the disease is worsened or progressed, so then in that cases the lips and fingernails turns blue in color. The leaves and fingernails turns blue in color because the person is not able to get oxygen. Why it is not able to get oxygen? Because you know that there is secretion of a fluid in alveoli, and that alveoli gets occluded, and so that's why due to a secretion of a fluid, the body doesn't get oxygen, and so that's why the leaves and fingernails, it turns to a bluish in color. Okay, so these are the signs and symptoms of pneumonia. Okay. Now the treatment, what is the treatment? Again, it is caused by bacteria, Streptococcus pneumonia, Haemophilus influenza, Pneumococcus pneumonia. So that's why obviously that needs an antibiotic treatment. What it needs? Antibiotic treatment. Clear? So that's about the pneumonia. I again repeat. Pneumonia, it is caused by bacteria. The list of bacteria which can cause a pneumonia are Streptococcus pneumonia, Haemophilus influenza, Pneumococcus pneumonia. Okay, how it is transmitted? When a healthy person that comes in a contact of droplets of infected person, the droplets are inhaled by a healthy person, it settles in the lung. In the lung, it infect and inflame the alveoli, and that secretes a fluid over there. Okay, and so that's why these signs and symptoms are observed. So what are the signs and symptoms of pneumonia? Fever, chills, cough, headache, and sometimes the lips and fingernails also turns bluish in color. The treatment is, it needs antibiotic treatment. Okay, so that's about a pneumonia. So we have discussed two disorders commonly found in human. First is typhoid, second one is pneumonia. Now we move ahead with another disease, and that is It's a common cold. Sardi. Okay, common cold. But before I start this common cold, I would also like to mention that typhoid is a disease caused by bacteria, Salmonella typhi. Pneumonia is also caused by bacteria. What I have listed: Streptococcus pneumonia, Haemophilus influenza, Pneumococcus pneumonia. There are also other diseases which are caused by bacteria like diphtheria, dysentery, plague. You have to remember diphtheria, dysentery and plague. These are the 3 diseases which can also caused by bacteria. But you don't have to learn these diseases in detail. Okay. So now we are starting with another disease. It's called as a common cold. This common cold that is caused by a virus. And which is a virus that can cause it? The name of virus which can cause a common cold is rhinovirus. Rhinovirus, it is responsible for causing a common cold. Okay. So this is a causative organism that causes a common cold. Next, now when rhinovirus, how it is going to be transmitted? When a healthy person that comes in a contact with that's a infected individual, that viruses are transferred from infected to a healthy individual. Okay, and thus they are going to be affected. Even it is also spread by utilizing the things of a infected individuals. Like suppose an infected individual use the pen, and if I use the same pen, okay, or infected individuals has utilized some utensils like glass, and I utilize the same glass. So it is also transmitted by utilizing the different things of infected individuals. Okay, so this is a transmission. Now you know the signs and symptoms. Which are commonly occurring signs and symptoms? That is, what are the signs and symptoms in common cold? Here it's a nasal congestion. Nasal congestion. There is a nasal discharge. Okay, what we call it as, commonly call it as running nose. Okay, nasal congestion. Okay, there is congestion in a nose, that's called as a nasal congestion. Next, it's a sore throat. Sore throat. Okay, गले में खराश हो जाती है. There is a sore throat. Okay, that is a hoarseness in voice. Okay, there is a weakness or tiredness. Even some feel headache. So these are the usual symptoms which is observed in common cold. Nasal congestion, nasal discharge, sore throat, hoarseness in voice, tiredness or weakness, headache. Usually these are the symptoms which may persist for 3 to 7 days. These symptoms may persist for 3 to 7 days. Okay, and our immune system works on these viruses and they try to kill it. So usually it's a self-limiting infections, means it does not need usual treatment. But if you want to give a treatment in a common cold, you can give a treatment which provides a symptomatic relief. Means a person feels a symptom wise, like running nose or sore throat, that is going to be relieved. So you can give a symptomatic, otherwise the symptom may going to disappear within 3 to 7 days, because the symptoms may range from 3 to 7 days. Okay, so this is a third disease, what we call it as common cold, and it is caused by virus. First two, typhoid, pneumonia, and even the diphtheria, plague and dysentery, they are caused by a bacteria. This common cold, it's caused by a virus. The name of a virus which causes it is a rhinovirus. Okay. Now we move ahead with another disorder which is commonly found in a human. The fourth one, the fourth disorder is fourth one. It's called as amoebiasis. Which is a disease? It is a amoebiasis. Okay, this is caused by a protozoa. It is caused by a protozoa. Okay, which protozoa? Okay, the name of protozoa which causes this disease is called as amoeba. Okay, so it is caused by protozoa called as amoeba. The amoeba is responsible for causing that disease called as amoebiasis. Okay, how it is going to be spread? Here there is an important role of a house fly, because here the house fly is acting as a vector. In amoebiasis, the house fly can act as a vector. Vector means it is a carrier of this protozoa amoeba. Okay, how it occurs? See, suppose assume that there is an infected person who is suffering from an amoebiasis. Now that person infected with amoebiasis, when goes for defecation process, it discharge its feces. Okay, this feces, on this feces, when the housefly sit, suppose these are the feces on which the housefly sit. Now that housefly, they fly and goes to some food and water wherever it sits. Now when a healthy person eats such kind of a food, those protozoa, they enters into a gastrointestinal system of a healthy individual and affect or infect a GIT of a healthy individual, and that causes a disease called as amoebiasis. So here the housefly is acting as a vector or carrier that carry protozoa amoeba from one to another, okay, or from fecal matter to a food and water, and it contaminate food and water. And when any healthy person eats such kind of a contaminated food and water, then it causes a disease called as amoebiasis. When you go to some eating places, you find that you can find a housefly and they are doing their activities, releasing some kind of a germs. And when we eat such kind of a unhealthy food, the chances of occurrence of this disease is very high. So this is called as amoebiasis. Okay. Now what are the symptoms? The symptoms of amoebiasis are: it causes constipation. Okay. It causes abdominal pain and cramps. Okay, it causes the abdominal pain and cramps. It is also leads to a release of stool with excessive mucus and blood. This is the most important sign by which they identify, the doctor identify. They have a stool with excessive mucus and the blood. Okay, so this is a signs and symptoms of an amoebiasis. Okay, so how it has to be treated? It has to be treated that we have to kill this protozoa amoeba. Okay, and once it is killed, the symptoms are automatically gets relieved. So that's all about a disease called as amoebiasis. And this amoebiasis is caused by protozoa called as amoeba. Clear? So that is the fourth disorder, amoebiasis. We have finished four. First is typhoid, second one is pneumonia, third is common cold, the fourth one is, this is amoeba. I will also tell you the scientific name. What is amoeba? This is called as entamoeba histolytica. It is caused by this protozoa. Okay, which one? It's a entamoeba histolytica. It's a biological name by which this amoebiasis is caused. Okay, now we move ahead with another disorder. Fifth one. Fifth one is Ascariasis. Fifth disease is Ascariasis. See, this is Ascariasis. It is caused by a worm. Which worm? It's Ascaris. Okay, it is a kind of a round worm. It is a commonly occurring round worm. This is Ascaris. You have learned the round worm in the 11th science in animal kingdom. The disease which is caused by this round worm Ascaris is called as an Ascariasis. Okay, so this is called as an Ascariasis. Okay, now this Ascariasis, it produces the certain symptoms. So what are the signs and symptoms of this Ascariasis? If you see this Ascariasis, a kind of Ascariasis which is caused by a round worm called as an Ascaris, Here you can find internal bleeding because usually it resides into a gastrointestinal tract. So it causes what it causes? It causes the internal bleeding. It causes anemia. Okay, it causes the anemia. Okay, next it also causes diarrhea. Okay, it also causes the headache, and even it can also cause the fever. Okay, so these are the signs and symptoms of ascariasis. Okay, so this is a disease which is caused by a roundworm called as an ascaris. Okay, now the another disease which is also caused by a worm. Okay, so which is that, and this is the sixth one, it's called as filariasis, or it can also call as elephantitis. Filariasis, or it can also call as an elephantitis. Say filariasis, that is caused by you can say that a filarial worm. Okay, which is commonly called as Wuchereria. Okay, it is caused by a filarial worm commonly called as Wuchereria. If I want to take the proper scientific name of this, then it is caused by Wuchereria bancrofti, and even it can also caused by Wuchereria malayi. These are the scientific name. Okay, I have just written the short form of Wuchereria. Wuchereria bancrofti full name, and the another one is Wuchereria malayi. They are filarial worm, and their causes are disease called as filariasis, or it's called as an elephantiasis. Okay, how this disease is going to be transmitted or spread? Here, a female mosquito it can act as a vector, and that is responsible for transmission of this worm from one person to another person. Okay, so here the mosquito can act as a vector, or it can act as a carrier. Okay, so what are the signs and symptoms? Usually in this filariasis or elephantiasis, the symptoms, wherever this worm is entered, at that part it enters into its lymphatic system, a lymph system, and it causes the inflammation of lymphatic system. Usually the lower part of a body, usually the leg, this leg part is going to be affected, and that becomes a swollen. The leg becomes like a very giant and huge, like elephant. That's why this disease is called as elephantiasis. The leg becomes a swollen. Okay, इसमें सूजन हो जाती है और वो पूरा फूल जाता है. Okay, so this is called as an elephantiasis. Okay, here even the lower part is going to be affected, so it can also inflame the genital organs. Genital organs also gets infected and inflamed, and due to inflammation in genital organs, that causes a deformation of this genital organ. Okay, deformed genital organs are produced in this. So this is called as filariasis or elephantiasis. Okay, so we have discussed these 6 commonly occurring diseases in human. So which we have discussed? That is one we have discussed, that is typhoid. The second one is pneumonia. The third one is common cold. The fourth one is amoebiasis, which is caused by protozoa or protozoal parasite Entamoeba histolytica. Next one we have discussed the ascariasis caused by a ascaris worm, and last one we have discussed is filariasis or elephantiasis, which is caused by filarial worm called as Wuchereria. Okay, we have discussed the signs and symptoms. In every disease you have to write the causative organism, means it is caused by which pathogen. Second, mode of transmission, means how it is transmitted. You have to write the signs and symptoms. What are the signs and symptoms? And if the treatment, then you have to write the treatment. Okay, so these are common things what you have to write in the disease. There are other diseases also, but the other diseases like malaria and ringworm that we will discuss in the next session. Okay, so we will continue the commonly occurring diseases in a human one. Okay, in a next section. Till then, keep learning, keep watching, like and subscribe this channel. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Okay, thank you for watching once again.